Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're back at the Laundromat, and we have some really interesting stuff to talk about this week. We were just at the small laundromat. It had record sales, did amazing over Christmas. This laundromat did not. In fact, it really did awful, and we'll show you how it did. And then I also figured out some problems with my Google page, and we'll talk about that too, and that's completely my fault. I should have noticed this sooner. But I think there's some things we can do to improve, and it's also interesting that maybe another laundromat is taking my business for a month. We'll see, but we'll talk about that as well. And this Google thing is really interesting. Of course, we'll count quarters, see how we did with vending, but let's talk about what major issue I found just now. All right, this actually started because I was searching for another laundromat, and when I was searching for another laundromat, mine did not pull up right away. At least it wasn't up here, and it was over here. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And then I realized, all these other ones have their own website. We don't, even though I have websites for lots of other businesses and companies. It'd be very easy for us to build one. So there's a lot of things we can do to really increase our sales, I think. We'll see if it changes or not. But I'm looking to see. There we are. We do show up. But look at this. Our reviews are not good. And all my customers and everyone I talk to loves our place. So that was not a good sign. So here's where the problem really arose from. And this is our laundromat. And these are some older pictures. It looks much better now. We can get some newer pictures on there. But I realized I did not have control of this business on Google. So I have a liquor store, mini mart, my real estate office, some other businesses that are all on Google. I have control of them. If I get reviews, I'm notified, all of that. Well, when I first started this laundromat, I said it was my business. I got it verified, all that. I could not get Google to add it to their directory. It would not show up as a laundromat. I kept saying it was there. They said they'd check on it. I kept saying they just wouldn't add it for some reason. So then I said it wasn't my laundromat, and I have a pretty large Google guide rating or whatever it's called, like a level 7 or something. And so I said, oh, look, there's a new business here. Please add it. And when I added the new business as not the owner, all of a sudden it showed up on Google the next day and was there. So the thing is, I didn't go back and claim it as my business again. I completely forgot about that. And I have not been paying attention to the Google page at all. So completely my fault. You can yell at me and tell me I'm an idiot all you want. I should have checked on this sooner. We don't have very many reviews either. But anyway, I'm like, oh man, so I just got control of it, but it takes like 5 days, so I can't reply to reviews right now. But I was like, why are people complaining about us? And most of them are 5 stars. But then we had a couple of just recent bad ones. Anthony Gott, I don't know who you are. New management is a joke. Multiple machines are broken and the floors are filthy. The owners are rent seekers with no care for good service. I almost wonder if this is someone who doesn't like me online and never used it. I can't say that for sure. But yeah, we have a couple machines that are broken, but we just added a bunch of new machines, and every laundromat you go to is going to have some broken machines. And the floors are very rarely filthy. We have someone cleaning it every day. And the rent seeker one is the one that really gets me and makes me think it was somebody online. Because there's a lot of landlord haters and people online who don't like my social media and stuff, who are always trying to go after me. Because I have a phone number and they could have called me, talked to me, and nobody mentioned anything. So that was interesting. But I can't reply yet because I don't have access yet. It's not there. And then this one is really crazy. This just happened 4 weeks ago. I was going to give y'all 4 stars because prices are good, but after my last 2 experiences, I've decided never to come back. I was coming once a week to wash my laundry and the towels for work as I'm a dog groomer. Y'all had a sign with a number for an attendant. The sign is now gone. No, it's not. After I read this review, I went to our laundromat and looked, and there's 4 signs with a phone number to call on it. No idea why they would say that because they're all over. There's been times the place is a mess and there's not even a number to call for an attendant anymore. Yes, there is. There's no ATM, so if you don't bring cash, you can't use the machines. That's true, but there's an ATM at the gas station that's 300 feet away right here. Very close. And if you go there weekly, then you should know to bring your own cash. So that's a weird statement as well. The people that work there when they are there don't even clean except for one lady. Okay, that's kind of weird. And I came on a day that I wasn't going to wash just to use their restroom to wash something small, and I got kicked out, locked in. Okay, now you're not supposed, the restrooms, the facilities are just for people using the laundromat. So if my cleaners were there and someone came in just to use the restroom, they might have said, hey, you can't use the bathroom. You can't, there's signs all over that say that as well. So I'm not sure why you'd be angry at that. It was terrifying and I'm never coming back. I let the person know that I constantly spend money on this business. I should be able to use their sink to wash delicates and other things in between washes. I'm not one of those people that leaves the place a mess, but being harassed and micromanaged while in the facility and being locked in with the door not opening was a horrifying experience. Our laundromat has auto door locks, so at 7 a.m. it opens, at 10 p.m. it locks. There's signs all over that say the operating times, and there's a button on the inside of the door that's bright red that says push this to open the door. You can unlock it from the inside. There's no problem. There's no issue at all. And we did have one person text me one time saying they were locked in, and I said push the button, and oh, there it is right there, sorry. And I don't know, they didn't text me, they didn't message me. Like I said, there's numbers all over the walls, so I don't know why they said that. If I could give 0 stars, I would. I almost called the police to let me out, but thankfully, after multiple attempts, the door opened. She probably pressed the button is what happened. I hope whoever was watching me on the camera not letting me out knows how stressful that is. So disappointed you just lost a regular customer. No, nobody was watching you on the camera. Nobody locked you in or locked you out. That is really weird. So, I wish I could reply to these reviews, but I can't. But yeah, they could have very easily text me and let me know about those issues, because we do have numbers all over the place and nobody took them down. They're still there. I was just there today looking at it. So anyway, if we can reply to some of those reviews, that always helps. And then if we get more reviews too, which I have not focused on at all, that would help as well. So we'll see if we can get that figured out and taken care of, but that might help a little bit. But a lot of our customers are regulars, but we were doing better. We were having good weeks. Sales were increasing. And then this was Christmas week. And some of these quarters were gone, so we're filling them up. I also filled up quarters yesterday. So lately it's been used quite a bit. But the weekend before Christmas was awful. Absolutely awful. We had $772 come in over the weekend, which is the least amount we've had in months and months and months. So I don't know what happened there. Everything was open, everything was working. It was just nobody came this last weekend. And then Christmas during the week was actually decent. It was okay. It was just the weekend before Christmas. So I counted this cash, and we had like $772 or something, or no, $750-ish, which is almost as much as the weekend, which never happens either. So just odd. This weekend was just really bad. So whoops-a-doodle. We'll clean that up. But if I'm not spilling money and dropping it somewhere, I'm just not having a good day, I guess. So maybe it's an abnormality, who knows? But like I said, my small laundromat that we just did the video on last week had an amazing weekend before Christmas and an amazing Christmas week. We broke records. So it was weird that this one did so poorly, and it'll be interesting to see what we have in the machines themselves, if they're low on quarters too, because I did check some of them. I always empty a few of them twice a week, and they were pretty low as well after the weekend. So we have lots of quarters left over that aren't going back in the change machine from last week, and so we'll put those in the bag, leave them here for a while, and then we'll take them to the bank and dump them in for extra quarters. And so we did actually just dump extra quarters last weekend too, and then yeah, so we've got some extra quarters going to the bank. Here is the change machine. I don't know why I messed up on my angle for my camera. I was trying to point it up, and then I was pointing it down, and then when I edited it, I messed it up even worse. So sorry about that. You didn't get the full view of the vending machine, but it was awful. Awful. So I don't know why the vending machine was so low either. Well, probably because not many people are coming to the laundromat. So we'll see what's in the soap machine as well. We did have someone say they couldn't get soap out of the Tide, or the Tide didn't work, but another one did. So sometimes our Tide jams, and there's also not very much Tide in the right side, but supposedly the machine won't vend if that happens. Oh, well, it's definitely very low. It might be gone. And and it's jammed too. There's one down there. So hasn't done that for a while. We don't put much in it because it jams. That's a little frustrating. We'll try and get that out. Sometimes it gets stuck back there too. But otherwise, there's a lot of soap gone. So while the vending machine had almost nothing gone, there's lots of soap out of here. So of course we'll refill that and get those all filled back up with my OCD filling style, sorry. And of course we'll check the quarters in there and see how much money we've got in here too, because there should be a fair amount of money with all that soap gone. So, well, if nothing else did good, at least the soap machine did okay, I guess. That's all right, and we'll get this counted up and added up at the end, of course, like we normally do. Not bad there. And, oh, there's an interesting looking quarter. Ah, what? 1956? That's the first silver quarter I've ever found here. Out of all the quarters, now I don't go through looking through each of them, but I kind of keep an eye out. I've never found a silver quarter. I found a silver quarter at my son's washer when he, at the complex, my son and daughter have washers there, but never found one here. So that's kind of cool. At least it wasn't a completely awful day. The soap machine made it interesting. There's the vending. That's awful. We'll see what the soap machine had. I want to look up 1956 too and see if that's worth anything. The other ones I always found were 1964. Now, of course, I'm looking through everything to see if I have other quarters. I almost never find them. There's a sick... Oh, yeah. 1965, too, is one that could be very, very valuable. That's when they switched to copper with silver plated. Most 65s are worth nothing, but a few 65s are mostly silver and worth a ton, but you can tell because the edges are all silver, whereas a normal quarter, it's mostly copper with a little bit of silver. But yeah, the 56, and supposedly they sound different too. Does that sound different? Hold on. Oh, it does sound different. There's a normal one. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, these machines aren't looking great so far. They're okay, but not a ton of quarters in them. And this is one of the bigger machines we got fixed. So we have a couple machines that are broken, yes. But honestly, that shouldn't impact you at all, because we've never had like someone say, oh my god, I wish I could use this broken machine, because the ones that are broken, we have other ones, and we're rarely so busy that all the machines are being used, so it really should not be an issue or a problem. And our floors do look kind of dirty, but honestly, a lot of it is just stains over time, and they don't get perfectly clean. And we do have someone that cleans it every day, so once in a while they'll miss a day and I'll get annoyed at them, but for the most part every day it gets cleaned. This is not looking very good. I have to say that. Those were very pitiful boxes. I do empty those twice a week, but still, they're usually way fuller than that. And that's people walking the laundromat looking at me funny because I've got a weird camera attached to my neck. That one's a little better, but still not that great. Yeah, this could be a rough week. So those were the big machines. Now let's see what the small machines are. The last couple weeks, our bucket's been way fuller for the big machines. Of course, I have to get my key right. And I just dumped it in the wrong bucket. So it was like, I just dumped that in the wrong bucket, didn't I? Because this one is empty. Yes. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out. This isn't super important, But I'm just gonna like dump some quarters in here to what I think it looked like before and just estimate, because there's really no reason that I have to know the difference between the big and small ones. It's just interesting, so we try and keep it somewhat even. But yeah, now I'm all discombobulated. All right, put it in the right bucket. There we go, right bucket. Okay, let's see. Geez, I'm having issues. Okay. Yeah, there's just not much in these small ones either. Sometimes there's, you know, not much in the big ones, but then the small ones will have a bunch more than normal, and vice versa. But no, today it is just not looking like a good week. Again, here's the machine that 3 weeks ago was completely empty. We don't know why. I must have left it open and someone took the quarters. I don't know. I can't figure it out. There's a nickel. That's not really going to help us do better getting an extra nickel. And moving on. Boy, pretty dismal. That one was okay, but not great. We still have a few more machines to look at and empty. We'll see what we've got. Obstacle course to get through. Again, they're looking at me funny with my camera neck apparatus on. It's all right, but again, these are usually pretty full. These are kind of our 3 load machines, so kind of in between a small and the big one. But they're usually very popular, except for this week. This week they are not popular. So hopefully things get better. I got so distracted with my Google reviews from the beginning, I forgot to talk about why I was looking for the other laundromat. So while I was here, some of my customers, my regulars, were talking to me, and they're like, hey, seems like it's been kind of dead a little bit lately. I'm like, I know, at least this week. The weeks before that were good. And they said, well, you know the new laundromat that opened is offering 50% off this month, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. So there's a new laundromat that opened. It's a couple miles away from me. It's not super close, but definitely could take some of my business away. But that's the one I think I talked about before. They had like $1 million worth of machines, and the guy never opened it, and then he ended up selling it. Some other guy took it over. But apparently they're doing 50% off for a month. And that's a big deal. So I think they're more expensive than me normally, but if they're doing 50% off, they're way cheaper than me for the immediate future. So maybe it will be a slow month or so if that's the case. We'll have to see what happens. Or maybe it's that one bad review. Who knows? Now, you can't get too worked up over one bad review, but it is a little frustrating. The last 2 reviews we had were bad. And odd reviews, too, because they didn't text me, they didn't call me. Usually I respond and talk to people and get it worked out, and we don't have an issue. But that was weird with that whole situation. Now, I don't know if it's the same person, probably not, but we did have a problem with like a kind of a homeless lady who was coming in, and she wouldn't do laundry, and she would use the bathrooms and tie it up and cause problems and issues. And one time she got a bunch of water out of it, like took jugs and jugs of water, never used the laundromat ever. And that person was real upset with me once too, because I said you can't keep coming in here if you don't use the laundromat. And I don't think it was the same person, but it's possible. You never know. And they admitted to me they never used, well, they said they'd used the laundromat like 2 years ago or something. So that enabled them or allowed them to use it for the rest of their lives, apparently. But, you know, if they're not causing an issue and they come in and use the bathroom real quick and leave, like, I'm really not going to throw a fit. But this particular person was hanging out in the laundromat, and I could tell some of the customers were not happy about it. So that's a different situation. All right, we're seeing how much money we have here, but it's not looking good. You know, the bare minimum we've liked to see the last few months is 5,000 quarters total from the washers, and we've gone below that a couple times. But usually we have more quarters in the big machines than the small ones, and that's just barely over 2,500. In the last couple of weeks, we've had, you know, over 6,000 quarters. So this is just very not good. See, there I am checking. Nope. They're always like 1981 or 1994. Yeah, this is very... I still have a few more quarters, but not that many. That's it. That's all. We are not going to get to 5,000. There's no way. Oh, now my change machine is acting up. There we go. Ugh. 46.50. Yuck. That is not good at all. Alright, well, maybe there's millions of dollars in the dryers. That one's always empty. It's out of order. I asked one of my guys to change that because we're going to change the bottom one to out of order so the top one worked, and that did not get done yet. I was going to do it, but I keep running out of time, so I'm like, hey, can you do this? He's like, sure, we'll get it done. And a few other things we're going to get done too that didn't get done, but that's how running a business works. Yeah, these don't look that great either. And again, usually I'm not like that self-conscious about collecting money and having my weird camera apparatus out, but like there are two people in the laundromat who I'd never seen before, and I feel like they're just staring at me the whole time, like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? And so I was going through these machines pretty quick, getting them empty. And I tried to say hi and smile at them when they walked in, and they just kind of looked at me and walked right on past, like, what's wrong with you? So apparently they've never seen a laundromat owner with a camera strapped to their neck. Now they have. Yeah, these aren't that great. That's their shoes right there. Yeah, because I kind of felt them just like staring at me, and then I looked up and yep, they're both just staring at me. Nope. Again. Looked old, not old. So, there we go. Oh, one more. Sorry, one more. And that's the dryer money, which does not look very impressive either. So of course we'll count that and see what we've got. But we've had much more from the dryers before as well. Yeah, usually that dryer bucket's, a little bit heavy to carry. It wasn't that heavy this time. And my 5-gallon bucket down there is not getting very full of quarters either. We've had a couple times recently where it's been real full and real heavy, and it's not looking that way now. What do we have? 22.50 as far as quarters last week, something like that for the dryers. Now we're not even going to come close to that. Oh, we might not even hit 1,600. 1,600. Oh, there goes a quarter flying around. Well, we'll take one out of it. Not that interesting. 1582. Ugh. Yuck. All right. Well, here's our chart to show what we ended up with the total. And yes, I know I keep promising kind of like a year-over-year profit video, and I haven't done it yet, but it's been real weird with Christmas, and haven't been working very much and had a lot of time to do things. So eventually we'll get that done. Not sure when. Maybe it'll be next year. But next year's only like 4 days away, so it's not that long. I mean, we did better than this when we first opened up. That's for sure. I might have to speed my chart up a little. We're getting a lot of data on here. And once I get so far, I speed it up so it doesn't take quite as long. And you can see we're real steady, real even for a long time. Then I started keeping track of how much cash we took in. And then had a little breakthrough there. And right about here we had a big breakthrough. That's where we added our extra quarters at one time. There was our sweet record right there. Then a sweet drop. And then we slowly rose up again and had some real good weeks, as you can see. And then this week. Look at that! 1,600. We haven't been that low for since June, I don't think. I think, or maybe it's July. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's Christmas, maybe something else. Maybe we were closed this weekend and I didn't know about it. I'm not sure. But not very good. So, which is weird because a small laundromat did so good and broke records, and this one did completely awful. So I guess we'll see what happens next week and this weekend. Of course, we'll have some shorts that show how much money we collected over the weekend. Maybe it'll be good. I guess we'll see. I guess the good news is during the week was actually decent. It was fine. Just the weekend was so bad. I think we just lost all of our business from the weekend. So who knows? Who knows what happened? We'll keep chugging away. I'll get the Google stuff fixed. That will help. Hopefully we'll get some more reviews on there that are positive, because I feel like all our main customers are all really happy and love it. I mean, when I was there today, there are two ladies talking to me the whole time about how much they love the laundromat, how clean it is all the time, how it's so much better than the other ones. And that's what I hear from most customers. So kind of annoying that our last two reviews were so bad, when I don't think that's indicative of what the general feeling of the population is on this laundromat. All right. We'll be back soon. Let me know what you think. We'll have more updates on this laundromat or other laundromat businesses, flips, commercial properties, all that. And let me know what you think.